Welcome to Satsang. We'll start as always with a question that comes in advance. Apni parivar jo hai jo apne saath yahan upasthit nahi ho sakte hain. Those who are not actually here with us physically, so out of love and deference to them, we start with their question first, and then anyone here who has any question will take that. What is one thing that you feel is unforgivable? I don't actually think anything is unforgivable. But we have to have the right definition. First of all, when we think about evil, right? If you say something is unforgivable, it means that person must be evil. Well, but in our tradition, we don't talk about evilness. We talk about nobody is rotten to the core. At the core, everyone is divine. Each of us in different aspects of ignorance. I am prepared to let go because I deserve freedom. I deserve joy. I deserve peace. And I deserve freedom. So since forgiving is up to us, and the last thing I want is my life ruined because of something someone else has done, some mistake someone else has done, we have to forgive. So yeah, everything is forgivable. But thankfully there's this law of the justice system, law of karma, that takes care of teaching people the lessons they need. We don't have to hold on to it. Our role is not to teach people the lessons they need. Our role is to keep our hearts clean. So does anyone here have a question? He's giving you the microphone.
Yeah. Yesterday, my mom's question was
Yes.
shraddha.
Yes.
And it will be better if you reply in Hindi because my mom doesn't understand English.
Sure. थोड़ा सा हिंदी में करूँगी and a little in English. Don't speak Hindi and those who don't speak English. So the question is, how do we increase our faith? Well, first we have to ask ourselves, where does our faith go? कहाँ चले जाते अपनी श्रद्धा? क्यों कम होते जाते हैं? क्यों कमजोर होती अपनी श्रद्धा? It becomes less. It gets less because we have expectations from God that aren't fulfilled. This is how people lose faith. I can't tell you how many people all over the world have said, since my mother died, father died, child died, I've given up. When we went and we were doing a lot of work in the tsunami areas in South India, after the tragic tsunami happened, people closed their temples. People stopped going to mandir because God had forsaken them. They told Pujya Swamiji, they were like, we don't believe in God anymore. We only believe in you. God took everything away. You've come, you're giving us everything back. Believe in God anymore. So our faith tends to get less and less when जो हम चाहते हैं भगवान से वो नहीं होते. अपने सारे जो हम करते हैं, जप करते हैं, we do it usually with some end goal in mind. कुछ लोगों का the end goal is just my own awakening, right? My own enlightenment. But for most people, I go to mandir on Mondays or on Tuesdays or Wednesdays because this is what I want from God. And when God doesn't do it, we get angry. अरे मैं तो आपका अभिषेक कर रही हूँ, कम से कम ये तो कर दो मेरे लिए, कितना मुश्किल काम है. Right? We get mad. We are owed something from God because we've been doing puja, we've been doing abhishek, we've been chanting our mantra, so now God owes us. And when we don't get what we think we should be getting, that shraddha becomes less. And maybe we're not thinking about, it's not that everybody goes to mandir thinking, please don't let me get fired from my job. Maybe it's not even in our mind. But we go to mandir, we do our things, then we get fired for no reason. Maybe someone else stole our work, but we get fired. फिर भी हमारी श्रद्धा कमजोर होता. Great. Now, this side, the Om chanter. Shurumi, when we all started, did you start with everybody or did you only start when they stopped? शुरू से आप लोगों ने किया या केवल जब वो लोग शांत हो गया तब आपने शुरू किया? शुरू से, from the beginning. Really? Could anybody hear them? थोड़ा सा भी सुनाई दिया? Why? Because this side was making so much noise. Now, I did this experiment to show you why we observe silence. When this becomes quiet, we are able to hear this. Now in my experiment, आप लोग भी शांत हो गया. But in our lives, that Om is always on. Maybe not necessarily in the exact word or sound like that. But if you go deep enough, you will actually hear it in that sound because it's the sound of the universe. But most of the time we can't hear it because all this ruckus is going on in our own minds. This is what most of our minds actually sound like. It's chaos. And then we are yearning for peace, wanting peace. And so we think, well, I'm going to go out and I'm going to learn this, learn that. The problem is, जब तक यही शांत नहीं होते, आप कुछ भी chant करते रहो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, सुनाई नहीं देगा. You can't hear anything. So the goal is not about how much Om can I find and somehow create. It's about how can I make this noise be quiet so I can actually experience the Om, means the truth, the divine presence of me. So that's why we observe silence. Now, the dilemma, as you may have noticed, is observing silence only makes our mouths silent. It tends to make people around us quiet. If you're in silence, people aren't going to talk too much to you. But the mind is still on. But slowly, 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 when we quiet the mouth, the mind actually starts